Yeah, absolutely. And it was a doozy over there in Atlanta, getting to straight into it. I guess all good in the ATL. What went well for South Carolina? What were some of your initial takeaways from what you witnessed in that 24-11 game over there in Mercedes Benz?
I think the biggest one is the special teams showed up when it needed to, and that's kind of been Beamer's calling card essentially in his tenure at South Carolina. Is that yes, we're going to have Beamer ball, yes, we're going to be good on special teams, but when the offense isn't clicking the way it needs to be, the special teams is going to be there to give you that spark. And obviously, it did it with Vakari Swain's 80-yard punt return for a touchdown. I think that was big. Obviously, parts of the defense. I mean, the defense was lights out. Granted, it's an unranked Virginia Tech team, but this was a Virginia Tech team that was really close to being a lot better than they were last year. Had a lot of one possession losses last year. I think the offense looked good. I think there's maybe a question mark, but I don't want to overreact because it's week one and there's a whole lot of kinks to be worked out. Well, I feel like we'll fully evaluate this entire team probably and going after that Vanderbilt game. Obviously, yep. SC State coming in this week, but solid performance and solid win to start the year.
Yeah, absolutely. The win earns you, a trip to the top 10 in the AP poll for the first time since 2013. That's pretty big. You've only been ranked as high as 2. I was talking with Tyler on the radio. There's already juice in Columbia, Michael, and this win certainly injects a little bit more as you come home for the home opener against SC State at 7:00. We'll talk more about that game. But yeah, this game did, they covered the spread. Obviously, we're able to make a statement. Is it a big enough statement? Did they send enough of a message, do you think?
I don't know if it was as much of a big statement win. I know it was an important win.
Right.
This program has found itself in spots where they have success, they have hype built up around in the offseason, and then they come in week one and just lay an egg. I don't think that was the case this weekend. Obviously, a 24-11 win probably should have been by a little bit more with that Nick Harbor catch. That wasn't a catch because no one knows what the definition of a catch is anymore. But no, I think it was a solid win. I don't know if I'd call it a statement win, but I think with the hype around the program, you did need to win that one, and they went in and they took care of business. It might have looked, not perfect at times, but yeah, solid win to start it, and you needed that one.
Yeah. Did Nick catch it, in your opinion?
Yes, that was.
Yeah.
I can't believe that we're sitting here having this conversation. That should have been called a touchdown, but what do I know?
Yeah, I know. I'm on the side of Des Bryant too. Similar situation again with a little bit of bob, a little bit of action on it. So yeah, did Nick catch it? Did Des catch it? I guess the world will never know. Defense stepped up big for South Carolina in this one. Sauls, Fred J.R. Johnson leading the team in tackles in his debut. Walk me through what you saw from Fred and also the rest of this defense around him.
Yeah, Fred was playing lights out, playing like a man with his hair on fire. Insert analogy here. I mean, yeah. I think coming into the year, Jordan, my coworker, wrote a couple of, it was like 25 questions, 25 days come in. One of them was, will Fred Johnson be like the next great linebacker at South Carolina? And the way he played on Sunday, I'm bought in. I am all in on Fred Johnson stock. He's a Norfolk dude. Obviously, my last job was in Norfolk, watched them ball out in high school. He was playing lights out. And I think if he can do that against the P4 team in Virginia Tech, if he can continue to do it once we get into SEC play here, he is going to be set up to be a crucial cornerstone of this defense for the rest of his time here. And I mean, he played absolutely phenomenal. I mean, stopping the run, then making plays and pass coverage with a pick. So played great.
Yeah, absolutely. Sauls, if you were in your first game, Tyler asked me this on the radio today. If you were in your first ever college game on that big stage, are you taking it out of the end zone, seeing a little bit of green grass? Obviously, Fred, cost him a little bit of field position there, but he gets the pick in his first game, taken out of the end zone. Are you taking it?
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah. And that's one of and I think Fred, if I recall correctly, Fred talked about it a little bit after the game. Essentially, It was, you get kind of tunnel vision in that situation where you get the pick and you find even if it's just a sliver of green grass, you're going, all right, I'm going. Now, granted, he got tackled 2 yards out. Yeah. But no, he's a young dude. Maybe somebody like a DQ Smith would have known to fall down immediately, but, it ended up not being that big of a deal. Maybe in a bigger game, it could have made that big of a deal. But no, if I was him, I would have absolutely tried to go to the house and probably would have gotten tackled immediately.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I probably would have gotten tackled immediately, but again, you get that pick, especially in the end zone. You got all your guys around you too. You see some green grass and some black jerseys in front of you. You think you got the world made, but Fred, yeah, unfortunately going down. But again, no testament to the rest of his football game. He had a brilliant game, 10 tackles again in his debut. There's going to be a long career ahead of Fred if he continues to play this way. And it also goes to show, like, one, he was one of the most underrated recruits in this class, only being a 3-star coming out. Clayton White finds a diamond in the rough. And then also, too, to Clayton White's, credit, being able to develop him, having him ready to play in front of a lot of guys that still needed a little bit more work. It, certainly goes to show you the Clayton White effect is real, Michael.
Yeah, that defense looked phenomenal. Just moving beyond Fred Johnson, Brandon Cisse looked great. The secondary looked good. Bakari Swain was able to step up when Kilgore went down there for a little bit. I think I do feel, a lot of the outside, not even just from local media perspective, but national perspective was, what is South Carolina's defense going to look like? Losing all that production. And I do think the way that they played against Virginia Tech was a great step in the right direction. Granted, I would like to see how this defense looks against the SEC week in and week out. Before I make any grand, all right, this defense is as good, if not better, or they took a massive step back or whatever. But the way that they played against Virginia Tech is a phenomenal step in the right direction for this defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Good start and gets you good momentum rolling into SC State. You got to repeat a lot of the good things that you did against Virginia Tech, but then also got to, check a couple more boxes against SC State to, really have momentum going into Vandy. Another question about this football team was the offensive line, Michael. There was good, there was bad, but for the most part, they protected their quarterback.
Yeah, it was one of those things where, and Shane talked about it a little bit today, where yes, they had the safety. Yes, there was, clips of guys just blowing up double teams from Virginia Tech's offensive line and getting to Lenoir's. But I am not necessarily sold on, hey, everybody start freaking out now. I think this is week one. I think there are a couple guys who we all thought were probably going to start, if not play, who did not start or did not play at all on that offensive line. I'm not ready to hit the panic button yet. Granted, get back to me after Vanderbilt. But yes, there was some slight. I think the safety was everybody's. Oh my God, what is happening? And I get that. It's week one. You don't want to have a safety that early. But I don't know. I think with the way Lenoir's is able to climb in the pocket and escape out of the pocket when necessary, I don't think it's cause for concern right now. Granted, 3-4 weeks into the season, if this stuff is still happening, then that's when you start raising the alarm bells.
Yeah, I agree. That safety was, I believe, the sack came from Boaz Stanley, and it was his only sack or really pressure allowed all day. That's a veteran guy that you have in that room that you're expecting big things from. Jordan was talking how big it was to have Bose here in January. So, I wouldn't expect similar play for them, going down the stretch. Again, it's a lot of teachable things, Sauls. But again, if it keeps happening, I think it's something to cause concern about. But as of now, I think it's fixable and, just got to get the communication there. It wasn't lacking enough to the point where, like you said, be raising all the red flags.
Yeah, you need a good offensive line to compete in the SEC, and we'll see how this offensive line unit comes together and performs once we get deeper in the season.